Majib, hi.
Hi, Manju. Yes.
Yeah, I had one question that my earnings have reduced in these past few years drastically,
Okay.
and that is creating all the issues.
Okay. Okay. And did something happen, or they all of a sudden
No,
they
it has
went?
been continuously reducing. I'm losing my permanent clients, and currently I'm left with none, and the things are going very slow in my business.
Okay. So when did it start?
Actually, it started around 7, 8 years or maybe 9 years, means lesser than 10 years ago. And it was very slowly going down. And I think it has come to the bottom now.
Okay. And how was it period to last 10 years?
How was it? Didn't get that.
How was the business?
Business was going, means it was going with a downward trend.
No, now it is going. Oh, since
Yeah,
the
yeah.
beginning itself.
Before that, it was fine. Means yeah, I can say that in our line that we do,
Mhm.
we were the leaders.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you started, you were at peak and slowly you are coming down.
Yeah, with a means it. I have been in this business past 25 years or so, and it has been our parental business. So that is a bigger hit to me.
Okay. So it's an important thing which you are bringing up. Can you tell me how it feels to let down your family legacy?
Um, means
Do you
uh,
feel that you're letting down your family legacy or parents?
yeah, of course.
Okay.
And even in during my tenure also, as I told you, it is 25 years I joined the business. Means past 10 years it is going down.
15 years.
Earlier, earlier 10, 12 years, because first 3 years, if it was learning stage, 3, 5 years. 10 years, I was taking it to the peak. After that, it is
Okay.
coming down now.
Okay. So you
Yeah,
did do very well in 10 years, and after that, it started declining.
right.
Okay. So anything happened around when it started declining 10 years back? Some major incident or something, or it was a natural process?
No, we had taken up an additional part of land adjoining our place. That was one part of it. It was required actually, but that is one of the incident.
Okay. Okay. So the crunch of funds, and then it
No,
started.
no, the crunch of funds wasn't there. Just addition part of land that didn't make much of a difference actually, and because that time we were doing fine, so it didn't create any issues.
Okay.
Mainly, it is due to fierce competition and products being sold in the market are of very deteriorated quality, but it is accepted by most of the
Clients.
client, made
Mm-hmm.
by government also.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's take it slow. We'll see how it is. How are you feeling right now? How does it make when you see your business at this stage right now?
Means it's nearing means closure kind of thing. I'm just pulling it along some way. I'm not earning. I'm losing my savings.
Okay, okay.
So it's
And
that.
how does it make you feel in this present situation?
Let down, gloomy, sad from inside.
Okay, can we look into this sadness? Can you look for this sadness in your body?
Uh, there's pain in my neck. Head is not light.
Right
It's
neck,
not
left neck? I mean, right side of the neck, left side of the neck,
Center,
center. Okay.
back of the neck.
Back of the neck. Okay. Can you give it a metaphor?
It's it's kind of a black kind of rubbery thing.
Okay. So let's go with it. I recognize this. What would be the intensity?
Um, 10.
Wow. Okay. Go to that rubbery thing with an intensity 10, black rubbery thing, and say, I recognize you.
I recognize you. I
I
recognize.
recognize you.
I recognize you. I recognize you. I recognize you. I recognize you. I recognize you. I recognize you. It's having a white halo behind it now.
White halo behind it. Okay. Uh, what is the intensity now?
It's 9.
What comes when you say that to your mind? Just recognize, since the white halo has come, say, I recognize this white halo.
I recognize this white halo. I recognize this white halo. I recognize this white halo. It's that white halo is coming to the color of that black rubbery thing, and again it's going away.
Again, it's going away. Okay. Get back to the black rubbery thing. I recognize my need for you.
I recognize my need for you. I recognize my need for you. I recognize my need for you. I recognize my need for you. I recognize my need for you.
Anything comes up when you say that?
The body of that rubbery thing has loosened up. It is
Mhm.
not as stiff now, but it's there.
It's there. Keep saying, I recognize the brilliance behind you.
I recognize the brilliance behind you. I recognize the brilliance behind you. I recognize the brilliance behind you. I recognize the brilliance behind you. It's fading, kind. It's getting thinner and it's
Okay.
kind of just kind of a plate thing now.
Okay. So normally what we say is, if you are in a situation where there are both ends, make peace with it and come to the center point. So one end could be business completely shutting down. You're going out of it. The other end is flourishing completely in your business, taking back to its peak point. If you think of a pendulum oscillating from this end to that end, where do you see yourself now? Where is the pendulum? Where is the affinity of the pendulum?
Uh, it's being seen in the center and it's not moving. It's moving very slow,
It's moving very slow. Okay.
just in the bottom. Neither going left towards the end nor towards the right.
And do
Just in the
you,
center and it's hardly moving.
yeah, and does it make you feel stagnated?
Of course, yeah.
Scan this feeling of stagnation in your body.
Nothing comes up.
Okay, start with saying, I recognize my stagnated feeling.
I recognize my stagnated feeling.
Keep
It's
saying like
actually
this.
stagnated and stuck up feeling. Both are there.
Okay, I recognize my stuck up feeling.
I recognize my stuck up feeling. I recognize my stuck up feeling. I recognize my stuck up feeling. I recognize my stuck up feeling. The pendulum started moving a little, actually. I could
Okay.
see, visualize that.
Okay, so normally what happens is, if we are in a situation, we might be avoiding the opposite side as well. As I said, business uh, going out of business and being at the peak. Similarly, if this feeling of being stagnated, stuck up is there, that could also mean there could also be a fear of flowing freely. So, can you scan your body and tell me when you're flowing well in the past, what didn't work for you? If that memory is inside your body, just feel it. If it is residing, the reason for the fear of flowing, if it resides in your body, where do you sense it?
uh, in my stomach.
Okay, take your awareness attention there. Give it a metaphor.
There's a kind of yellow colored kind of pivot kind of thing, or a uh, clock's hand, maybe that kind of thing coming from the center of the stomach towards the right side.
Okay, and what would be the intensity?
Around 8.
Okay, start recognizing this. I recognize
I recognize
this yellow colored.
this yellow colored.
Was it a hand of a clock?
Yeah, hand of clock.
Okay, I recognize this hand of a clock.
I recognize this hand of clock.
Keep
I
saying it,
recognize
please.
this hand of clock. I recognize 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 this hand of clock. It's still there, and color is fading. It's getting white,
It's
off white.
getting okay. Okay. Please say, I recognize my fear of flowing.
I recognize my fear of flowing. I recognize my fear of flowing. I recognize my fear of flowing. I recognize my fear of flowing. Only the center part is now being visible.
And what comes to your mind when you say, I recognize my fear of flowing?
I recognize my fear of flowing. I recognize my fear of flowing. I recognize my fear of flowing. Feeling ashamed, maybe.
Okay. I recognize my association of shame with flowing freely.
Recognize my fear of being.
Association of shame
I recognize my association of shame
with flowing freely.
with flowing freely.
Can
I
you
recognize
scan this shame inside your body?
it's again in the stomach, and just center of the stomach, around kind of thing,
Solid, round, hollow, round,
solid round, but cylindrical kind of thing.
color,
Color green,
green, solid cylinder, and intensity.
intensity 9.
Okay. Say, I recognize this cylinder.
I recognize this cylinder.
I recognize this cylinder.
I recognize this cylinder. I recognize this cylinder. I recognize this cylinder. I recognize this cylinder. I recognize this cylinder. It's becoming a sphere, small sphere.
Okay. I recognize this spear.
I recognize this sphere. I recognize this sphere. I recognize this sphere. It has become a circle, white circle.
I recognize this circle.
I recognize this circle. I recognize this circle. I recognize this circle. No, it's not there.
All right. Now go back to the clock, hand of the clock, and see how it is looking now.
It's just an outline now, white with black outline.
Okay. Please recognize this black outline.
I recognize this black outline. I recognize this black outline. I recognize this black outline. I recognize this black outline of the hand. I recognize this black outline of the hand. It's there still.
I recognize my need for this black outline.
I recognize my need for this black outline. I,
I
rec-
recognize my need for this remaining fear of being stuck.
I recognize my I recognize this remaining fear of being stuck.
I recognize my need
I recognize my need
for this fear of,
of
for
this
this
fear
remaining fear of being stuck.
of this remaining fear of being stuck. I recognize my need for this remaining fear of being stuck. I recognize my need for being stuck. I recognize my need
For this remaining fear of being
for this
stuck.
remaining fear of being stuck.
I recognize my need for this remaining fear of flowing.
I recognize my need for this remaining fear of going.
Flowing. I recognize my need for this remaining fear of flowing.
I recognize my need for this remaining fear of knowing.
What's happening to that hand now?
It's reduced, means it has again come down to a circle thing with that similar outline.
Okay, keep recognizing it. I recognize you.
I recognize you. I recognize you. I recognize you. I recognize you. It's diminishing.
It's diminishing. Okay, now take your awareness to the back of your neck.
Yeah, there also it's an outline, black outline with gray filling,
All right.
and it's a rectangular kind of thing.
Okay, and what would be the intensity of it now?
6.
6. So uh, we have made a progress. You can see this in this way. One is we started with business going down. Okay,
Yeah.
and we were looking at both the ends, where business was doing fine and business was doing not good. So at present situation, it's a feeling of being stuck and stagnated. Now if you look at it, it's something like this. Sometimes what happens when we are at peak, we may make some erratic decisions where it can bring shame to self or others. Maybe in this case, how you are saying, fear of flowing is there because some association of shame with it. So if you when later when you are in a peaceful situation, you can call that part of you which probably took a wrong decision and felt when it was flowing freely. And once you make peace with it, there would be no fear of flowing. And when there is no need for this fear of flowing, there would be no need to get stagnated as in the present situation.
Okay.
See, one thing is the solution need not be as complex as the problem. Having a business, running an industry is not a small thing. There would be so many dynamics for you to come to this point. A market going up and down, other competitors coming, and so many things. But there would also be a subconscious need to go through this experience. And when you make peace, maybe as we are looking in this case, if there was any part of you which felt ashamed when flowing freely, because there looked like an association of shame with flowing freely, probably that is a part which made a mistake when flowing freely. Then you'd be able to make peace with the present situation and the flow starts again. If you want, quickly call that part, you that inner child of you which has an association of shame with flowing freely. If something comes up, let me know.
Again, during my childhood, I was performing very well, and later I didn't complete my degree part. I joined my business. That was again the shameful part inside me.
Okay. And when you couldn't complete your degree, did you feel letting down your parents?
It was a letdown for myself.
Let down for yourself. That is very important. Okay. Now, this is the part when you failed. But what is that which didn't work for you when you're doing well? Call that part which probably has an association of shame when performing well. This sounds little weird, but just
Yeah.
flow with it. Just go with it. Call that part. which felt shame when it was doing better?
Uh,
If you want, you can use the statement, I recognize my association of shame with flowing freely.
I recognize my part of
Association of
I recognize my association of feeling shame,
shame, yeah,
shame
shame
uh,
with flowing freely.
with flowing freely. I recognize my association of shame with flowing freely.
I recognize my association of shame with a free flow.
I recognize my association of shame with free flow. I recognize my association of shame with free flow. Maybe a part of humiliation that I can see in front of maybe my siblings, or I don't know how it is coming up, but it's being
Okay,
shown up
just
there.
call that part. Just call that part which felt humiliated. How old was is that part?
Around 14, 15.
Okay, look at yourself at the age of 14, 15, and say, I recognize your feelings.
I recognize your feelings. I recognize your feelings. I recognize your feelings. I recognize your feelings.
How's he feeling?
Again, it's the humiliated part inside.
Okay, I recognize your humiliation.
I recognize your humiliation. I recognize your humiliation. I recognize your humiliation. A little more relaxed feeling for that part of for that child.
Okay, keep saying it until this child is ready to integrate in you. If it's not ready, it will project that. Keep saying, I recognize your feelings.
I recognize your feelings. I recognize your feelings. I recognize your feelings. I recognize your feelings. Now I could feel that it's integrated inside me.
Okay. Now see yourself doing well in the business again and see how it feels.
It feels great actually. Powerful, more
More
relaxed,
powerful, more
yeah,
relaxed.
more systemized. Things are flowing freely.
Let's see how things unfold with this. This may look a small procedure, but can have a huge impact because your subconscious mind is the manifester, and as I said, solutions need not be as complex as the problem. Something shifts in you, it will have its repercussions. So what I can perceive is probably it's the um, it could be that shame which is of not being able to make live up to your potential or something related to because when you're flowing freely,
Yeah, it seems so.
yeah, yeah. So the more you integrate this part, there is no more need to fear your flow. You can feel completely flow freely, and it may not invite any experience of humiliation. And sometimes this is also a part where you're like super successful, and you may get subjected to humiliation from others for being successful
Yeah,
out of no fault of you. And that makes you start rejecting your own potential. For a man, respect is very important energetically.
yeah,
And so, somewhere being successful, you can again think when you're at home, being successful led you to be humiliated. And it can come in different ways. People who are not comfortable with your success or anything, but there would be a need in your subconscious mind. So, the more you work on this need and say that, I can be successful and I can be respected for that. I can note down this statement. I awaken the possibility
I awaken the possibility
to be respected to be respected for my success.
to be respected for my success
with radical.
with gratitude.
I awaken the possibility to be respected for my success
I have given the possibility to be respected
for my success
for my success
with
with
radical.
gratitude. With
Can you
gratitude.
note it down, please?
Yeah.
So, if this new association, because for subconscious mind, everything is possible. For if this new association gets formed, you will have a easy flow in your career.
And one thing that is when that respected part was coming, one
Mhm.
thing that was again and again coming was support. Because whenever the business got orders or it had to be executed, the support
Mhm.
from the workers, from the staff, it reduced drastically. And I had to get involved wholly because each and every time it used to come, maybe this has also created a resistance from myself, my end.
See, this is probably a byproduct. If you are open for success, if you are open for success and if it can invite respect, you will get all the support. But subconsciously, if you have an association of success with humiliation, somewhere you want to allow yourself to be successful, even in spite of having orders, funds. You will have some hindrance in one or the other form, which will keep you in the same state. Avoid success.
Right,
So if you focus on this success and the respect which can come along with it, the loose ends will get tied on their own. There is no more need to stop. Either the workers will be replaced or something will happen, but you will have your flow. You will have your success.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That is the main thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you can hold on to this statement. Maybe for next 3 months, you just hold on to this statement, and it can turn tables for you.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so much.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Stay in touch. Have a wonderful Sunday and a week.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lata.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Jeev.
It
Thank
was
you.
very
Thank
nice.
you. Thanks a lot, dear.
Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you,
Nice
Mujeeb.
speaking.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Anna.
Thank you,
Thank
Mujib.
you.
Thanks, Mujeeb.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you, Sherry.
Mujeeb.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Bye bye.
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 Thank you. Thank you very much for the
Thank you,
six
Sharvi.
six day session.
Thank you.